Hello everyone, thank you for joining. This is going to be a 15-minute flow to focus on your back. My name is Shelby and we are going to get started in child's pose. So you're going to come to hands and knees and then you'll take your knees as wide as your mat and bring your big toes to touch. Start to press your hips back towards your heels and reach your arms out in front of you. And then rest your forehead down onto the ground. And right off the bat, if that does not feel accessible, I want you to bring your knees a little closer together and reach your arms back behind you. So in whichever variation you've chosen, try to let your head relax. And then begin to soften through your jaw. And even try to unclench the muscles in the back of your throat. And just for a few moments of stillness, we'll focus on bringing the awareness to your breath. Begin to take a big breath in through your nose. And breath out through the nose. And see if you can make this next one even bigger. Inhale through your nose. Feel the sides of your ribs expand. And then as you exhale, try to press your hips a little further back towards your heel bones. One more breath in stillness. Inhale, biggest breath you've taken all day. And then as you exhale, try to push your hips back to your heels and push all the air out of your lungs. So you inhale, begin to lift your forehead up off of the mat. Take your hands as wide as your shoulders and begin to glide forward to your tabletop position. So when you get into tabletop, take your hands directly underneath your shoulders and then look back at your feet. Make sure that your toes are right behind or pointing straight back behind you. And then on your next inhale, you're just going to take a gentle cat-cow. So cow, we tilt the tailbone up, draw the shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, start to round your spine, draw your belly button up and push the mat away from you. So you really want to feel your upper back spreading. Inhale, tilt your tailbone up, look forward. And then exhale, start to round your spine. Try to draw your low belly in. And one more time, inhale, tailbone lifts, look up. And then exhale, press as hard as you can into the mat, trying to separate the shoulder blades apart from one another. Inhale and find a neutral tabletop position. So for neutral tabletop, we want to make sure that the tailbone is tilted straight back behind you. So from the side, so you see the angle, your tailbone will lift all the way up and then try to tilt it all the way down and then find that place right in the middle. That's your neutral tabletop. From here, we're going to look at the right foot and you're going to swing your right shin out to the side. Tuck your left toes and then extend your left leg back so it's in the same line as your right knee. Then look at your right shoulder, stack it over your right wrist and start to reach your left arm up into the sky. Look up to the right thumbnail. And then as you exhale, start to stretch your left arm up and overhead so that your bicep kind of lifts towards your ear. As you exhale, come through center and then bring your left knee down, come back into tabletop. We're gonna take one round of cat-cow. Inhale, tailbone lifts. Exhale and round your spine. Other side. So just warming up here, we're gonna swing the left shin out, tuck your right toes, extend your right foot back behind you, and then from here, reach your right arm up into the sky, look up to the right thumb now. As you exhale, reach your right arm up and overhead and just enjoy any sensation that starts to come up here. Exhale, right hand down to the ground, right knee down to meet the left. One more round of cat-cow. Inhale, tailbone lifts. Exhale, round your spine. Try to look at your belly button so you start to stretch the back of your neck and then find your neutral tabletop. Now tuck your toes, start to elevate your knees. So you're gonna feel your legs start to warm up and get a little active there. Now start to lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. So if you're newer to yoga, newer to this practice and this position, you'll see this a lot in this type of practice, this flow. So what you want to do here is just look at your index fingers. If you have tight shoulders, turn your index fingers out a little bit, give your shoulders some room to breathe, and then start to pull your hips back, and then begin to press your heel bones down and energize your legs. And here's what you're going to be feeling: a play of work in the upper body and then stretch in the lower body. So just start to breathe into that dynamic sensation. As you inhale, look forward and begin to make your way out to high plank position. For those of you who need to adjust, you may have to walk your feet in, or you have to walk your feet back a little bit. When you're in your high plank, shoulders over your wrists, and then glide forward on your tippy toes. If high plank is not there for you, don't worry. You can lower your knees down and pause in this position, working that hold in the arms. If you're in your high plank, start to pulse back and forth on your big toes and squeeze your legs. So start to use your legs for support here. Really start to activate. Now glide forward, shoulders over your wrists, lower your knees down, untuck your toes, and then begin to bring your elbows back by your ribs to lower down to your belly, and try to go slow there. There's a tendency to just want to speed that up. It's totally normal. Slow it down. Take your hands under the caps of your shoulders, cinch your elbows in by your waist, and you're gonna feel those muscles in your upper back turn on. Feel them ignite, press into the tops of your feet, and then as you inhale, lift your chest. Exhale and lower back down. You're gonna practice that 2 more times. Inhale, elbows in by your sides, press into the tops of the feet, and then lift your gaze even. Exhale and lower down. 1 more time to breath. Press into the feet, lift your chest, elbows in. Exhale and lower down. Now tuck your toes. Try to squeeze your thumbs together so it's like you're almost creating a ridge in your mat, and then press yourself up to high plank. Now pull back, come into downward facing dog, and then start to pedal out your feet. And what we mean by that is just bending and straightening one leg at a time, and you'll start to feel a little bit more sensation in the outsides of your hips. And your next inhale, just come back to center and then look forward. Start to walk your feet up to your hands. And at some point you're gonna be like, I need to bend my knees. Go ahead, bend your knees to bring your feet up to your hands, and take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. All right, from here, we're gonna bend the knees and try to push your belly towards your thighs. For those of you with tight hips and tight hamstrings, your belly might not touch your thighs. We're trying to just work that compression. So what we're saying there is pushing belly to thighs, and then grab a hold of opposite hand and opposite elbow and let your head drop. Now take a big breath in and let your head go. Try to lengthen the back of your neck. And even tuck your chin in slightly towards your chest and feel if that enhances the sensation for you. Exhale all the way out. Next inhale, hands to shins. Start to press your hands into the shins and extend the crown of your head forward. Exhale and fold on down. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Now start to energize your legs. So even though you're not in a squat, you can still use the muscles around your legs to hug to the center, and then exhale, fold. 1 more time. Inhale. Now press your heels into the ground, extend, and exhale, folds. Bend your knees. Now round your spine. Round, 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 all the way up to stand, and just allow yourself to go slow. Enjoy where you find that edge, that place where it gets a little curious. Shoulders stack over your heels. And then as you inhale, begin to reach your arms up. Now when you're reaching up, I want your shoulders to lift, 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 and then draw low belly up and in. Exhale, start to hinge and fold over your legs. Inhale, take that halfway lift, so a posture we're kind of familiar with at this point. Exhale and fold. Step back to high plank. You've been here before. Now energize your legs, look forward, lower your knees down, untuck your toes, lie onto your belly. Inhale, lift your chest, press into the tops of your feet, lift up for your cobra. Exhale and lower down. Tuck your toes. We're gonna press up to that high plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward to your hands, and then take 1 giant step to your hands. I guess it's 2 giant steps up to your hands, and fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your spine. Now screw your heels into the ground. Exhale and fold. Round your spine, roll all the way up. Now stretch your arms up. Let your shoulders lift, lift, lift. Now squeeze your glutes as you start to lift your ribs, lift your chest. Exhale, hinge and folds. All right, we're gonna add on. Step your right foot back behind you and kiss your right knee down to the ground. So gently release right knee to the ground. Walk your hands onto your left thigh. And then from here, we wanna start to pull that left hip back because the right hip wants to open here. So we're gonna pull it back and then you'll reach your arms upward. Let your shoulders lift again and then take your left hand to your left hip. Plug into your left big toe. And if you're like, I've never done that before, really start to push. And then you can start to reach your right arm over. Now, where's that dynamic play? Left foot down, right fingers reaching. One more inhale. And exhale. Next inhale is going to bring you back to neutral. You're going to reach your left arm up again and then place your hands down to the ground. All right, so just adding a little bit of heat here. Tuck those right toes, elevate the right knee. You can step back to high plank or maybe hover your left foot back. Just give it a try. Exhale, left foot down, knees down, untuck your toes, lie onto your bellies. Inhale, take baby cobra, lift your chest. Exhale and lower down. Option to come into upward facing dog. So you'll walk your hands back by your low ribs, press your fingers into the ground, grip the mat, start to lift your chest, maybe straighten the arms, lift your thighs, squeeze your glutes. And then as you exhale, push into the mat to pull back, downward facing dog. You might have walked back a little bit on your mat. That's cool. Just come to the middle of your mat, make sure you have space. Inhale here. Exhale. Now, try to sink your heel bones down, squeezing and wrapping the muscles around your legs. Feel your kneecaps lift, so quads engage. And then look forward. Step, 2 giant steps to the top of your mat. Exhale and fold, curl down. Inhale, round your spine, roll all the way up to stand. Reach those arms up, lift out of the waist. Exhale, hinge and fold on down. Second side, we're gonna step that left foot back behind you. So wiggle it back. If you're like, Shell, my hips don't do that. Walk the left foot in a little bit closer, that's fine. Now, bend your left knee. So you're gonna kiss it down, gentle, untuck your left toes, and then walk your hands onto your right thigh. The reason why you're gonna do this is so that you can focus on your left hip coming forward, swiveling forward, and right hip pulling back. Start to reach your arms up. And when you work on that, you're gonna feel a lot of sensation in that left hip crease. Now plug into the right big toe mound. Really push. Take your right hand to your right hip and then reach over. So can you push into your right foot as you're reaching out of your left hand? Just go into what you feel. Exhale. Inhale to center, reach both arms up. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Tuck your left toes, elevate your left knee. Now, work on adding some spice. If you want it, you're gonna slide that right leg back to 3-legged or 4 legs. Exhale, lower your knees down, untuck your toes, lie all the way down onto your bellies. Woo, feel that heat building. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower down. So option to take upward facing again. If you're like, I'm not ready for that, stay in cobra. Elbows hug in by your sides. Straighten the arms and the legs. Then curl your heart up, press into the tops of your feet as much as you can. Exhale, round your spine, pull back, downward facing dog. And then, if you're like me and you came to the back of your mat a little too far, just walk forward, that's cool. We're gonna drive the heels down and let your head hang. Big breath in. Huge breath out. One more inhale. Empty out your breath. Go ahead, look forward. Step your feet up to your hands and forward fold top of the mat. Inhale, reach all the way up, stretch up. And then as you exhale, just slide your hands to heart center. I want you to close your eyes. One more inhale here. And exhale. Blink your eyes open. We're gonna cool down. Turn all 10 toes to face to the left side of your mat and step your feet wide apart from one another. So right now, it doesn't matter how far your feet are apart from one another. I wanna make sure that they're parallel, and then you'll adjust. So as you inhale, you're gonna reach your arms upward. And then start to lift your, like from the waist, draw your low ribs in. Start to pull your butt back as you reach your arms forward. You'll probably feel a lot happening here. You might have to bend the knees. And then plant your hands under your shoulders. And then this is where you can start to play around with how far apart your feet are. So if it is somewhat easy for you to bring your hands to the ground, you might walk your feet in a little closer. If you need a little bit more space, take them a little wider apart. And we're gonna hang out in this position for a few rounds of breath. Now drop your head. And with your hands under your shoulders, bring your awareness to the pinky sides of your feet. And almost like you're rolling into the pinky sides, try to press them into the mat. Then press into your big toe mounts. Notice where the sensation travels through your legs. And then even try to wake up your inner arches. And if you're like, I've never done that, just bring your awareness there. And even try to wake up the insides of your ankles, your shins, and your knees. So pressing into the feet, we're allowing the rest of your body to soften, or just go into what you feel. It's fine if it doesn't soften easily, that's okay. Take one more inhale here, and a huge breath out. And then when you take your next inhale, hands come under your shoulders, halfway lift, extend, look to the top edge of your mat. So we're gonna pivot all 10 toes to face to the center, or to the front. And then you're gonna step your right foot back. We're gonna lower the knees down and untuck the toes. And you can sink your hips back to your heels or come to a seat. We're just gonna take 2 rounds of breath to soak in the practice. Big breath in through your nose. Huge breath out. And when you're ready, blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And stay tuned for that next video. Thanks, guys.